then the reaction of the police would have been vastly different. They're my thoughts. Let me get to Massachusetts, and please, if you have questions, please put them into the chat. Massachusetts, can you hear us?
Frank O. Collins. Yes, I do. How are you, sir?
I'm good.
All right. This is Arthur Parkman. Look, I downloaded the forms. I have it in my computer. I'm going to spread it like wildfire. This is life-altering. I've been waiting for this all my life. I always knew something was wrong. I never stopped my pursuit, which led me to you and a whole bunch of others like you, but really there's no one like one hyphen heaven at all on the planet. That is going to spread like wildfire. I'm going to do my job on that because I've been waiting all my life for this. And my question to you is, when I try to register on One Heaven and under the Americans Union, I fill out the form, and it would boot me out. I don't know if you guys are working on the server. I know things are about to, a whole bunch of stuff's being done, but I'm trying to get on there and,
Well, I'm very sorry that happened. Honestly, the technology is pretty much run on a bootstrap.
Right.
Okay, so it's not.
I hear you.
I mean, it needs to be in a better form. So there are issues in terms of speed, and there are issues in terms of performance. So,
right.
Look, I'm sorry. What I would say is, try by going to one-heaven.org, and you'll see at the top there it says register.
Right.
There's two parts. There's the register part, and if you have been bumped off, you can actually go and re-register or retry if you've got your trust number. As to the instruction on how to get your trust number first, go and have a look at globe-union-court.org. That's globe-union-court.org. And in actual fact, the link to that court site and all the other sites are on the homepage of One Heaven anyway. So you can actually get to it by clicking on the link. The reason I say go and do that, because that'll give you some instruction on how to go get it. If you do it that way, you should be okay. Again, I'm sorry the clunkiness, and look, the people's persistence has been fantastic, and I'm sorry that people have spent time like you and not got the result. But go and have a look and do that, and if it fails again, please write to me, and I promise to you and to everyone that we'll clean up this registration once and for all in the coming weeks. So please let me know how you go. Okay?
Excellent. Well, I know I can't fail. I'm a special one on the planet myself. And I would just like to say to everyone listening, as long as we keep our mind to the goal, we can't fail. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So that's what it is. So, I try not to speak in any direction other than success in this mission. All right?
We'll strengthen on it to you and to all that will help you, and thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right.
Bye. Well, let's go to a couple more questions before we get to speak to Ron. And I really appreciate those comments in from Massachusetts. Let's have a look and see what other questions you have here. We've got one question I thought I could see here. Okay. Guest 4 says, is there a paper type and color that this should be printed on? Good questions. I don't believe that it matters. I really don't. If you want to put it on blue paper, put it on blue paper. If you want to put it on different paper, put it on different paper. But I believe the words speak for themselves, and it's entirely up to you. Also, if you want to look at different formats that make it easier in terms of presentation, that's entirely up to you as well. But no, it doesn't matter what paper type or color you want to use. That's entirely up to you. Let's get to speak to Ron and then the next caller. Ron, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Hi, Frank.
Hi.
Hey, I just wanted everybody to know that the Will and Testament package is now posted at the U of U under Downloads, and then look under Law, and then go down and look for Will and Testament package. It's in zip format. That's so when you extract it, it maintains the file structure and the folder structure. That's the only reason why I do it that way. But I have some comments. When you record the notice of existence of your will and testament, there are some states that might not do it. And so if that is the case, I included another document called the, starts with an A, Frank, help me on it. It's like an affidavit, an affirmation.
Affirmation, yeah.
So if they will not take the notice, then try the affirmation. It's identical to an affidavit, but worded differently. Then I might not have seen all of the words last in front of will and testament. I thought I got them all, but don't use the word last if you see it. If you see a name that's in all lowercase, it's probably meant to be proper case. Look, there was a lot of editing that was going on, and I probably missed a few things, but I did try, right?
Ron, look, I mean,
I'm trying to give people tidbits here, you know.
Well, it's really appreciated, Ron, and the fact that you give the background to it, you give instruction to it, you give detail to it. I know people that have come on and looked at it really appreciate what you're doing.
Right.
So, Ron, thank you again for what you're doing.
Frank?
Yeah, I'm here. Keep going.
Oh, okay. I found out today that Indiana will take a notice of the existence of will and testament. So that's good news. Washington will. I just did mine yesterday. Idaho's the only stick in the mud so far. Let's see, there was one other point I needed to make. Darn. If I think about it, I'll call back in.
Okay. Thanks, Ron.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Let's get to guest 51 and we'll keep going. Great work, Ron. Guest 51, can you hear us?
Hello, Frank. It's Roberto calling.
Hi, Roberto. How are you?
Great. Ron covered slightly what I was going to ask you about, and that is basically saying if one would file an affirmation onto the public record affirming one's role as occupant of the officer of General Executor, and it's unrebutted, does that now stand as fact?
Yes, it does. Yep, absolutely. You now have public record and public notice that you are the occupant of the office of General Executor.
Yeah.
And if that can be apostilled at some point in the process, and we can work out how to make that work effectively, then that is international notice. Congratulations, you are truly the occupant of the office of General Executor. Now the challenge will be how to function in that capacity. And that's where the canons of law, and particularly the work on fiduciary law, is going to be very important, because I know people are looking for ways to stop being crushed by the system, but it as I've said, and you've heard me say this, Roberto, that the most challenging role that you will ever do is to be and live as a general executor. Yeah?
Agreed. But you know why I don't worry about that, Frank, is because as hearing you speak, and I commend you on the job you've done on the 144 truths, you basically resonate with the divine. And I always preach this, is that your intention makes all the difference in the world. So if you are being honorable in that role, I believe that the divine will assist you. And
yep.
You resonate on that vibration, then you'll have smooth sailing in your dealings. And if you're not handling that role honorably, then you will fall. So I don't.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
well, thank you, Roberto. Is there anything else you wanted to cover?
One more point in relation to that, in regards to affirmations.
Yeah.
So in regards to the maxims of law, they list references to unrebutted affidavits standing as fact, but there's no reference to like affirmations. That would still apply with the same.
Yeah, what you find, and they give you form and they give maxim to affidavit, and then you will find that the word affirmation is slotted in there, and then they say nothing of the word affirmation. So when you actually go through, you find that affidavit is actually ceding authority. It's resigning from office. It's admitting that you are.
Right?
Yeah, it's basically saying it's a plea. Basically, I have no authority. I cede all my authority. I put myself at your mercy. Whereas an affirmation makes none of those presumptions. So they use affidavits to trick us into legally, effectively indemnifying them by ceding all rights and authority to them. It's a nasty trick. But affirmations are virtually the mirror same as affidavit, but the word makes all the difference. So the form's the same, just the word.
And are you still the affiant, even though it's an affirmation? Or would you undersigned?
Yeah, you are the... I'll have to come back to you on that one, Roberto. It's a good question. But
well,
yeah,
it's safe. I'm just calling it the undersigned.
Yeah.
And the bottom. That's what I'm putting because, I wasn't sure. Okay, well, thank you. I know you got a lot of callers and you got a lot of work. Keep up the great work. Love you, man.
Thanks, Roberto. Good on you.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Let's have a look at the next caller before we go to the next caller. Let's have a look. There were a couple of questions that came in. So let's have a quick look. There was here. Okay, Steve Hart asked the question, is and should EDP and Ritus Verum be issued with our will package? No, it shouldn't. The ecclesiastical deed is going to be refined a bit further in light of all this work that's coming on in terms of will and testament, in terms of getting the property into your estate with the apostille birth certificate, in terms of the remedy that's going with that. The EDP will be refined. The Ritus Verum is for here and now. The Ritus Verum is on behalf of you, your family, your parents, your ancestors, your community, and the world at large. So it is not and does not require to be connected to these other things. The call tonight in asking people to help with that is completely separate to all the other remedies that we've done so far. And if you look at this, there is no seal required. There is no thumbprint, there is no seal or witness required on the instrument itself. And why? Because it is witnessed by the divine. So I hope that answers your questions there, Steve. Okay, let's get to Alpha 999. If you want to talk, please, I would love to hear from you. Whatever you want to raise, please get on and press *8 or #8. I would love to hear from you. We'll just see if we can get on to Alpha 999. Hi, you're unmuted. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Frank, how you doing?
Good.
I was going to ask you a question about the responsibility of the fiduciary when you're handling the affairs of the estate, or you're handling can you explain the role of the fiduciary in this a little bit?
That is an excellent question, and I'm going to, seeing you ask this question, I'm going to ask everyone on the call to just indulge me, and I'm going to ask you to get a sheet of paper, and I'm going to ask you to write out a structure, and this structure is going to explain fiduciary and administrative. So I need you to get a blank sheet of paper while I just call up this file. There's 12 things to write down, but when you see them, you'll see how evident it is to make sense of fiduciary and administrative. So I'm just going to get the list right now as we're talking. Where are we? I'm in the wrong file. One sec. Call it up. I should have had it up in front of me. I'm sorry. One sec.